Computer, yep. Okay, people, welcome to Socialist Sunday. My name's Dave Putson. I'm the convener of this sort of meeting. We were supposed to be going live streaming, but for whatever reason, the technicalities have said that I am not Dave Putson, and therefore we're not going to be allowed onto live stream, which is a bit bizarre, but there you go. Okay, we tried it. It's not worked, so we're recording it and we'll post this to the Socialist Sunday channel sort of immediately after this meeting's over. We're welcoming back today Michael Gavan, the NEU Regional Officer. We did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, funnily enough, on live stream without a problem. And then today we've got him back to do a live stream. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that. Michael, we've invited you back because there was a couple of days of action this week in support of you. Would you like to give us a recap on your case, what's happened and what's going to be happening, so we can move that forward?
Yeah, happy to do that, Dave. And David,
comrades,
thanks again for inviting me back. And I have to say from the outset, I'm very grateful for the solidarity that this group of comrades has shown me. You've been really outstanding in the support you've given me, so I'm very grateful for that. So thanks again, particularly of course to Dave and to Steve, who've been real stalwarts supporting the campaign to defend me against being victimised by my own employer. But where we are is that on the 7th of April, I received a formal letter from my employer advising me that I'd been issued with a formal warning, which was to remain on my file for up to 6 years. And essentially the reason for that warning is because I helped a member have their legal support reinstated after being told I should no longer help them or support them. Now, for me, that was a matter of ethics, it was a matter of conscience. Here was a low-paid, black, female member of staff, support member of staff, not a teacher, but a support member of staff in my union. They had a good case, they'd been unfairly treated by their employer, in fact, they'd been unfairly dismissed, and I felt it was very important the union did everything they could to get that member some support and some compensation. And that's what I did. And sure, I upset some people by doing that inside the union, but I've got no regrets about that because I felt I did the right thing. And I'm very pleased that the member went on to win a good and fair settlement. And they are now back at work in a different school, sure, but without a successful outcome, they never would have worked in any school again. So I feel that I did the right thing. And I'm obviously very disappointed that my employer sees it differently. So that's the sanction that was levied against me, comrades. And then what we've done, I've had tremendous support from my own union group, from my comrades and colleagues at work. And we and they were on strike last week on Wednesday and Thursday. Very successful strike, completely closed the regional office of the London NEU. Strike was very solid. We held strong pickets at the regional office and also at the headquarters of NEU. And it was a very powerful 2 days of action. And now the members have voted to escalate that action, and there'll be further strikes on the 6th, 9th and 10th of May. So any solidarity comrades can give us for that will be warmly welcomed. Okay, Dave, that's a brief recap on where we've got to.
Okay. There doesn't appear to be anybody indicating at the moment whether they've got questions or not. So as far as you're concerned, Mike, you've had 2 days of action this week. You've had 26 people thereabouts on the picket line. What's been the reaction from the NEU in regards to that and the people at the head office there at Hamilton House?
Well, they're certainly rattled by the action. They issued a statement to the press last week saying that they've complied with their own disciplinary procedure. Well, I would dispute that because I think they've broken their disciplinary procedure repeatedly. But notwithstanding that, what they're unable to do is to defend their own actions, because at the heart of this case is the treatment of a member. And I believe I did the right thing by the member, and I'm afraid they did not. Also, what's behind this, I'm afraid, is a response to what is very hierarchical top-down management. Now, when that happens in the school or in any employer, trade unions object to it, rightly so. And it's a great shame to see that being replicated by a trade union itself. So that's why members who support me are doing it, not just to defend me as an individual, but also to make the point that this type of heavy-handed management should have no place in any trade union.
Yeah, and still nobody's indicating. Steve, yeah, Steve.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's been successful ballot and there's going to be further action. I think it's disgraceful the way Michael has been treated. It's not something that I haven't come across before. I've been a member of some appalling, I won't say appalling unions. Unions are their members, not their full-time apparatus or unelected national and regional secretaries and senior officials. But I've been in unions where these sort of characters have abused their position time and time again, and have, you know, taken disciplinary action against people for doing precisely the sort of thing that Michael has done, which is to, how could you put it, stand up for the member and put the member's rights above the bureaucratic assumption that I'm the manager and you will do as you're told, whether I'm right or wrong. And the unions I was in are well-known right-wing unions, and I've got to say this shocked me a little bit, not because the trade union leadership of bureaucracy were doing this to Michael, but the NEU. I always had the NEU as down on the left, and you know, all right, perhaps there was a bit of how could you put it, faux left sort of how could you put it, you know, a cover, you know, they like to pretend they're on the left. But I really honestly didn't think that the bureaucrats in the NEU would do something as appalling as this. But they did, and that's why we've supported you, Michael, not just because you're a personal friend and the work you've done over in Bexley to support NEU disputes and that, but because you're also a Unite member and an elected Unite representative for NEU members in the London region. And I fully support what our General Secretary, our new General Secretary Sharon Graham, has said, and that is that any shop steward that is victimised by their employer will get the full backing of this union. And you're a shop steward, or they may call it a rep or whatever, you're the shop steward as far as I'm concerned, for those members. And I'm following what our General Secretary has said, and you know, trying to ensure that you get maximum support as a Brother Unite member. And I hope, is there going to be lobbies of the NEU HQ on those strike days again? Because I hope, if there are, we can actually mobilise a few more people and make it even bigger than it was last time. So full solidarity, Michael. I'm disgusted what they've done to you, and I'll do everything to help you out until this dispute is won.
Thanks, Dave. And I have to say again, you've been outstanding in the support you've given me. I really appreciate your support. In terms of the strike days on the 6th, 9th and 10th of May, we'll be holding more rallies outside of Hamilton House, which is the NEU head office. So it'd be great to see you and other comrades there on those days, but we'll finalise the details and send those out probably next week.
Okay, thanks. Nobody else is indicated at the moment, Michael, so I've got a little bit of an oddball sort of curveball to you. With this particular instance that you're experiencing at the moment from the NEU, have you seen this happen in the NEU before? Because it seems that there may be a recurrence of this type of behaviour now in trade unions slightly across the piece at the moment. And I'm just wondering if yours is an originating sort of expression from the NEU, or whether you've actually sort of seen other people in the NEU sort of suffering the same way that you are at the moment.
Well, I think, Dave and comrades, it's been reported, hasn't it, in the press and other places. about a feeling that the NEU, not the NEU alone, but the NEU hasn't been doing enough for some of its black and female members. And that's been a concern that's been raised in lots of different places. What has happened in this case, it kind of brings it into sharp relief. You know, here's someone who's low paid, was facing the complete ending of their career after many years really conscientious service, a real strong pillar of the community in their school, and they were simply being thrown away by a really kind of bullying regime in the school. And that's why it was so important to support the member. That's why the school NEU group was so determined they should be supported. And that's why their own branch also wanted them to be supported. So I can say I was shocked, because although I've seen some cases turned down before, which I felt were unfair, this was the first time I'd seen someone being dumped 5 weeks before their full employment tribunal hearing. And basically they were being placed in a situation where they would have had nowhere else to go. If we hadn't won the reinstatement of their legal assistance, then they would have been completely destroyed when it came to the employment tribunal. Not because they didn't have a good case, but because they would have been completely outmatched by the resources of the school and the local authority that was supporting them. So what happened in that case was very, very disturbing. Does it mean it's happening in other cases? Well, I worry it might be, Dave. Yeah, I worry it might be. So we may have a bigger issue to address here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the present time, nobody else is indicating. I'm not sure that anybody else. Normally, people take a little bit of time to warm up on these things, but just for everybody's edification, just given the fact that we were having some difficulty getting onto a live stream, I've had 3 emails from Google now telling me that thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for trying to join into live feed. Yeah, so they're saying that we've been accepted to go through to a live feed. So I have no idea what the technical problems were in relation to get that going. But give my apologies to your NEU sort of colleagues and comrades that are sort of wanting to watch this live stream. It didn't happen this time. We'll get that problem sorted out for next time. Unless anybody else has got any other questions for you, Michael, I think we can actually sort of move on to the next item. And if we're going to move on to the next item, then what I will do is I will stop the live recording, because this is the only section of today's meeting that really needs to go onto the sort of Socialist Sunday TV channel. So unless anybody's got a question, if you've got a question, you better put your hand up now. Can't see anybody indicating. No, nobody's indicating. Okay, then, Michael, I'm going to sort of stop the recording now. And then what we'll do is we'll carry on with the meeting. I'm presuming, given what the next item is going to be, you'll be wanting to stay and listen to that.
For sure. And just say again, thanks again to everyone for your great support. I do appreciate it.
No, you're more than welcome, Michael. Solidarity, mate. Solidarity.